we're back. The DJ Knowledge Crate podcast. Thanks to everybody that listened in December's Christmas edition, our Virgin Voyage, as it were. I'm here with Mr. Terry and Mr. J. Introduce yourselves there, lads.
This is Terry Ryan, aka Terry Atomic Hooligan, aka Terry from On The Rise DJ Academy.
And this is Jay Cunningham, also from On The Rise DJ Academy.
Yeah, so big thanks to everybody that tuned in to the first show. We've had some nice feedback, and overall consensus is very, very nice. So yeah, we're back with more.
The number one feedback that I've heard from people is everybody saying how, a lot of people saying how passionate we are about it. So that's nice. I mean, what we want to do is get our passion out there for people.
Indeed, yeah. How did you find it, Jay?
Yeah, it's good. Do you know what? Like we say, in there is a void out there of knowledge that I think needs to be, told. And both Terence and I have, had 20 years plus each of playing out in the world. So, it's nice to share.
Yep, yeah, for sure.
I just want to say that if we do hear any mad rumblings, it's my tummy because someone didn't bring the biscuits in.
Yep. Yep. I can't distinguish between your tummy and the rejuvenation work that's going on downstairs.
Yeah, so okay, well look, let's get into it. The latest news, I know there's a lot going on. So we're going to start with, I believe, news of a new Pioneer.
Very exciting. So obviously, Pioneer's brought out a lot of new kit, but this one is it's definitely very interesting. It's the new Pioneer DDJ 1000. It's a controller that's kind of aimed at sort of the RX kind of middle range of the controllers.
Yep.
And even just at a glance, there's a couple of major differences. One, it's set up a little bit more like the CDJ, DJM club setup that you'd get, whereas previously only the RX and the RX2 kind of gave that kind of look and feel. So I think for people looking to fill that kind of void between home and clubs, it's a great little, great move forward.
Yeah, it's definitely not a standalone unit either. This is this works with Recordbox on the computer.
Yeah, but do you know what? We should point out we haven't actually had our hands on one yet. We've just going by pictures and whatnot, but it does actually work as a standalone mixer, which is nice.
A standalone analog mixer.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's very much kind of designed on the CDJ DJM setup. The other massive standout thing is that there is like an in-jog digital display. Now, on the pictures, it kind of looks quite crowded, so it'd be really good to kind of see what one of these looks like in person. But you've got everything from like the full track information, where your hot cues are, timer lapse, BPM. There's the little kind of scratch indicator to keep you an eye on where you are.
We've even got the artwork on there as well.
Even the artwork as well. So there's a lot going on in there.
Do you think possibly too busy, or do you think actually,
do you know what?
Can you ever get too busy?
Until we see one, it looks a little busy, but I like the idea of having the information, so DJs not having to look at the laptop and rely on that. I'm a big fan of that. So
it looks slick, I have to say.
It does put your attention all onto the
job,
onto the actual unit itself, so you're not constantly staring over the computer.
Which is important, I think, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, anything that kind of stops DJs looking at laptops unnecessarily. Obviously, there's going to be times you need to.
This could be a kind of a tone in the right direction regarding controllers.
Yeah, I think if this is, hopefully this is kind of going to be a bit more of a blueprint of Pioneer and other controllers moving forward. It's really taking a lot of the sort of Nexus 2000 and DJM 900. Like the mixer has got all of the effects that you find on the 900, but there's another 4, and I love the names they come up with these. The first one is called Enigma Jet. Now, both Terry and I are big fans of Jet.
Of the Jet, the old Jet that you used to get on the the CDJ. Which one was it? The CDJ 500.
Yeah,
back in the day.
It was the silver one.
The silver one,
yeah,
like where you could just trigger the Jet in the middle. So you press the Jet button.
Right.
So hopefully, fingers crossed, they're bringing that back for 2018. We love a bit of Jet. Yes.
The remix for
remastered.
So there's another couple on there: Mobius Saw, Mobius Triangle, and there's a low cut Echo. Again, obviously we haven't listened to them as yet, but very exciting to see what's going to be brought on those. There's also 8 pads on either sides. Now with the latest version of Recordbox, you can get actually 16 hot cues. which I know a lot of turntablist DJs will be really happy with. You've got access to all of those on there, which is cool. They've also incorporated factors into their key shift and key sync functionality of Rekordbox, so similar to kind of Serato's pitch and time, so you can have a lot of fun playing different notes and different semitones to make it. Again, we talked before about equipment now becoming more musical instruments rather than a kind of performance tool.
And that's 16 hot cues as well. That's like a real big move in like to live remixing and using the unit like an instrument rather than just a DJ unit.
Yeah, absolutely. They've upgraded the Magvel fader. There is now 10 million movements in there. So that's a big number to throw around. Not quite sure what
I don't know what it means. I mean, obviously that's a big selling point for it if you know what it means, but we're not actually sure. I mean, if you know what that means, please comment on it underneath and let us know. But yeah, we're never quite sure what that means.
10 million movements.
10 million movements.
I think the main thing, the selling point for this is that the jog wheel and the faders have been updated with a lot more responsiveness. So they're obviously giving this more towards the scratch turntablist DJs just to make sure that they're getting that response that they need to use that as in techniques.
I mean, one of the most impressive things about this for me is like the fully functioning 900 mixer that you've got in the middle. I mean, it looks and sounds like it's going to be exactly the same as one of the 900 mixers.
Yeah, club, yeah.
Little LED display. I mean,
I gotta say, for me, because I use the DJ SR, but to take away the vision of a laptop and just be like, okay, I'm looking at it like I'm using CDJs.
Yeah,
that's a big one, I think.
I mean, it looks literally like two CDJs next to a mixer.
Yeah.
It's really been well thought about. Even just down to how the finish is very similar to how the CDJs and mixer are. So it's really well thought out, and I think this is going to provide as a really popular kind of option. You've got the DVS option with it as well. There's 4 analog inputs. You can also connect 2 laptops up to it as well. Right. So for back-to-back DJs, there's a lot of features on this. They've come big with this one. Definitely.
Am I jumping the gun, or do we have a potential price range? Or
that is built at like €1,199. So I think it's going to be in pounds just over £1,000,
which is realistic. It's realistic for the kind of, if you want a CDJ-esque setup in your home studio and be able to translate what you're doing there into the club. If you get onto a pair of 2000s or whatever,
very good point.
It's realistic.
Yeah, I think I wonder if because that selling point of the RX was that not only was it a great standalone unit, but actually that familiarity between practicing at home and going into a club was very minimal between the two, and this is just kind of compounding that. So I think a lot of DJs were really sold on that, and so Pioneer obviously listening to what people want and moving forward with it. So
So straight up though, if you have this at home and you don't have the money for, the Pioneer mixer and the 2 CDJs, you bring your USBs onto a club system, and it's you're going to be ready to rock. Apart from obviously the added functions with the pads and whatnot.
This setup is good. It has to work with a laptop.
Yeah.
So there's no getting around.
No,
that.
but what I'm saying is, if you were at home practicing on something like this,
yes,
you're fully ready for a club setup if you were to bring the 2 USBs.
Yeah, I mean that for me is the biggest USP for Rekordbox. You can have literally anything from the entry level controller all the way up to the the RXZ kind of range, and you're practicing at home. And you're on the kit you're familiar with, but when you go to a club, you just export your playlist, your cue points, all your information, and you've got access to all that on the road.
I mean, there's obviously a differential if you've got like a DDJ RB with the platter size and the platter with like kind of
smaller sort of.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a difference in the jog wheels.
Yeah.
So going from the RB to a pair of CDJ 2000s in the club is obviously a different thing. But if you look at this, the jog wheels look like
they are the same size.
There you go.
Yeah, they're actually taken from the 2000s.
Yeah,
so,
there you go.
Big win. I'm excited about getting my hands on one of these. Definitely.
Yeah.
And with that also comes Rekordbox 5.1, which it came out on the 18th, and that again kind of ties in with the new hardware and just brings everything together. So
Get your Rekordbox updated if you haven't already.
Do you know what? I'm really impressed with Rekordbox. They're relatively new compared to other DJ platforms like Serato, Native Instruments, and that updates just come thick and fast.
Are they doing more? Do you think, not to down anybody, but are they doing more than their rivals? Let's say. in terms of new stuff, latest?
Do you know what? For me, the two strong leaders on that software side is definitely Serato and Recordbox.
Yeah.
And Recordbox has just come leaps and bounds. And I think they're very much a muchness now.
Okay, right.
I really there's kind of some slight unique points.
There's minimal nuance differences
Yeah.
between the two, but
Okay, right.
nothing to really like kind of rock
To
the
push
boat.
one over the other. Okay. Are we done on this mixer, or is there any more to mention on it?
I think I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
I think all in,
it's the first time I've seen. I have to say, I'm really impressed with how it looks.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting if you can get your hands on one.
I mean, I think the price point on this is probably the biggest talking point, really. Like, there's all the stuff that's going on the controller itself. We kind of seen before in various guises, whether it's from Pioneer or if it's from another manufacturer. But I think the price really does open this up to quite a lot of people, which is great, especially with the mixer. I think the mixer itself, the 900 and the platter size at that price, you probably can't go wrong.
It's a bit of a win, isn't
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So next thing, Terence, you want to tell them about the DJ kit day?
So we've got an interesting event coming up on, the date has completely lost me.
Monday, 22nd
there we go, Monday, 22nd of January. We've got, we will be at the DJ Kit Open Day in, Newbury.
Hope you're driving, Jay.
No, I memorised all this information before we came on air, and then it's just all completely gone out of my head. Yeah, in Newbury. So our friends down at DJ Kit are having a big open day. One of the biggest things there is they're going to have a raffle, and the raffle is going to be absolutely ridiculous. But pretty much every single manufacturer is putting in a lot of kit into this. Now, I haven't got exact details on it yet. But if you win this, you will be set up.
A DJ Kit hamper.
A DJ Kit hamper, including a 4-hour teaching session and all practice session with us as well.
Wow.
So
when you say DJ Kit hamper, I think of Den and Jam and some nice Pioneer cheese.
Listen, either one is sounding pretty good to me.
Yeah, some Cracker Barrel / Pioneer cheese
on a bed of hay.
So yeah, we'll be down there. We'll also be performing, I'll be performing a set on the Denon SC5000s and taking part in the DJ Kit tutorial, talking about my view of the Denon SC5000. So it's going to be a good little day. I think they're opening up quite early. I think it's going to be from either 3 or 4 p.m. going on into the evening. I think I'm DJing about 10, 11 o'clock. So yeah, it's going to be a good day. If you can make it, get down there. We'll put some information and links, obviously, in the description of the podcast, so you can go along and kind of get your tickets. So yeah, it's going to be cool.
Nice. And then kind of leading on to that, the next day, which is Tuesday, the 23rd of Jan, we have got a Denon DJ Prime Series live demo at our studios in Wembley.
We have.
We've got whoop, whoop. We got Matt Ray, who's the product specialist from Denon, who will be coming down and doing a live demo. We've got some very limited places here to be able to check it out live and interact and work out what's going on. And it's a great opportunity if you've not seen these Prime Series, the SC5000 X1800 mixer. There's rumours that the VL12 turntables might make an appearance as well, but we can't guarantee.
So this will be on the Rise Facebook.
We're going to put the details up on the Facebook and also on our page on theriseacademy.com. And a couple of prizes as well. So we're going to give away some Denon headphones, or Denon are giving away some headphones.
Yep.
And the exciting prize for me is we're going to do a live stream from our On The Rise DJ Academy Facebook page. And someone around the world that's listening and watching the stream will have a chance to win a custom-made Denon sweatshirt of their choice, colours, size, everything.
I'm going to go woo again on that.
Yeah, go for it.
That's nice, man. It's a busy week coming up for On The Rise here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, check out On The Rise, ontheriseacademy.com and djkick.com for details on both those events.
Nice. And what else have we got? Oh, so we got. I'm going to have to give a shout out to our guys at Softcore.
Yep.
This company basically sent us, got in touch with us a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of months ago, and said, we're making some soft core cushions. Do you want some? We're like, all right, free stuff, we'll have it. And they're basically like acid face kind of cushions, very sort of nostalgia. You know, if you're kind of into your sort of like late 80s, early 90s, you'll kind of connect with these. But they sent us, so I was actually really quite surprised. I thought they were going to be a little bit kind of flimsy and whatever, but they're actually really well made. So check these guys out. They do literally so much stuff. They do like wallpaper, furnishings.
Yeah.
There's like chairs.
Soft furnishing for ravers.
One for
ravers.
the mortgage holding ravers amongst us.
Yeah,
exactly that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not exactly cheap,
but
but
the cushion there in the studio looks really cool. If you had some of those on your couch,
I genuinely couldn't believe how much cushions cost in general. Like I've been looking for cushions. I just bought a couch, and I was like, oh, I'll go down Primark and get something. Like
no, they are not cheap. Yeah,
no, they're not cheap.
I feel a new podcast coming on.
Interior design with Terry Hooligan.
Pillow Knowledge Crate coming soon.
So go and check the guys out. Softcoreldn.com. Big shout out to those guys. And I got the last couple of bits. One, I just thought this was hilarious. Technics have brought out a new turntable, the SL1000R.
Where can we buy them and when?
Do you know what? First of all, you've got to mortgage your house.
Yeah, exactly. Talking about mortgaging.
They are $20,000 a turntable. Now, obviously, these aren't designed in any shape or form for DJs.
No, they're audiophile turntables. They don't have a pitch control on them or anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're absolutely beautiful to look at. Like they're stunning to look at. They've got was it a 10mm? Is it chrome platter on them? Bronze platter on them. Like they're stunning to look at. But I mean, it's like something you'd walk onto a yacht. And see, like it's not something you'd walk into a DJ booth and see for sure.
Yeah, so big shout to Technics on that one.
Yeah.
I'll have 2 of those by the end of the year.
More Technics disrespecting the DJ community now.
Right, now, the last thing I want to mention, and I'm going to speak very slowly because I've been getting the name of this wrong.
Yeah, please don't mess this up.
We had a student came in, a big vinyl fan. He did some lessons, and he brought in, so big shout out to Sam actually for introducing us to this. He brought in this bottle of stuff called this vinyl.
No.
Wait.
Try it again.
Vinyl.
Revirginizer.
Vinyl revirginizer.
We want to say revaginizer.
No. Right, cut that bit out.
Please explain more. This is
so basically, I've been kind of big into like cleaning records. I've been like reconnected back with my vinyl, and have been. It was started off as my old man hobby, and I've decided once I've made a wish list, I started buying. So I was buying all these old records, and they're all in kind of a bit of a state. So I spent a lot of time researching how to kind of clean them, and actually wrote an article on our website. But the student came in, and it's just this kind of bottle of blue gunk, and you basically pour it all over the record, rub it in with your fingers, and you leave it. Well, it says like 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah, no, we left it for like 4 hours or so, and it wasn't ready.
You need to leave it overnight, and basically it just peels off. It's like, you know, when you go on holiday and get totally sunburned, and just a big sheet of skin comes off.
It was very satisfying.
It was basically like that. Yeah, it was really satisfying to do it, and it was great. It kind of pulled off all the crap that's in between all the grooves. And what I was really impressed with, I had a record which I'd bought of this guy off Discogs. It was rubbish grade. I just basically was trying to sell it on for like £1 or something. But I listened to it and then put this stuff on and listened back to it. And there's still crackles, but it was cleaned it up
basically.
Hugely.
There was definitely like a very audible difference between the two.
Yeah, I was.
So it's a face mask for your vinyl.
Exactly
what it was. Yeah.
That's a nice product.
Yeah, indeed. So that's it for the top news bits for this podcast.
Okay, well, moving on then. There's a little segment that we wanted to talk about. Tech tips involving a digital music survey, file formats and quality. So I'll let you continue.
It kind of follows on from what we were talking about in the first podcast, which is organise, prepare, perform, and that was more about once you've kind of got your music in there, is how to kind of treat it and make sure you're not getting lost with it. And this just takes a little step back. to look at kind of, the quality of the music. But what led this all off was that, we get a lot of people, students asking us, what's the difference between MP3 and WAV? And obviously everyone's got their own opinion, but we've done a couple of surveys before and they've always been sort of quite fruitful in the results. So we did a survey which was quite simply, which digital music formats do you DJ with?
I mean, we get a lot of students in who are completely lost on this front, and that's kind of one of the big things for us. We look at everything as somewhat of a teaching opportunity, and if we can help the people out there that kind of are a little bit lost on this and don't really understand the difference between the two and what they should be using, I mean, we put that out to public consensus and tried to find out what everybody was using.
So what exactly is the question being asked of you?
So the first question that we asked was literally simply that, which digital music formats do you DJ with? Now, we had just over 300 responses, and this was from DJs from all over the world. And it was quite interesting, 65% were using WAV, which is a uncompressed format. And 88%, this is a multiple choice, so they could tick, either or, or tick multiple options. And 88% were doing MP3. AIF, FLAC, and AAC came quite a lot lower, around the sort of 17-20% mark. But it's really interesting. I think, historically, a lot of DJs DJed MP3 just because that was what was around. Broadband speeds were slow, hard drive sizes were smaller, so it was a necessary evil to use MP3. But I think, over the years, I don't know how that education process has really broadened out for people to understand the difference between the two of them. I was quite encouraged by those results. I think, that's nice to show that, there are a lot of, a very high percentage of DJs that are using WAV files, and the results that we got back, we asked them why do they use what they use, and it was actually very uniform across the whole answer for people using MP3. One main reason was cost, because obviously MP3s are a little bit cheaper to buy, and hard drive space. I think that's especially
there are
popular.
two valid reasons, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
I think the hard drive size thing is getting more and more valid again now, because when it's obviously the DJ's computer of choice is an Apple Mac. And Apple have started to now again reduce the size of their hard drives because they want everybody to use the cloud. So this MP3 thing is now becoming a valid point again around now. I mean, there's obviously a lot of DJs out there that play that use PCs. I mean, we had a student in here yesterday who had a very good PC. He was totally to spec for everything that he needed to DJ with, and it's got a terabyte hard drive. So it's not such a big issue for him. But again, Jay, you just cleared out your hard drive a little while ago. You had like 10 gig left of a terabyte hard drive. So it's still like a valid reason to use MP3s.
The next question we asked was, which format is your first choice? And not surprisingly, a high percentage, but actually 52% said MP3 was their first choice, and 32% WAV. So I think that gap kind of closed even a little bit more in favour of WAV. Obviously, MP3 was leading.
Sorry, do you mind repeating that?
So basically, I mean, what if I know these numbers, we're throwing numbers around, but if you go to ontheriseacademy.com, there is the full survey results and our kind of thoughts up there. But basically, of those DJs that we asked, we said, what is your first choice? So they could only choose one. What's their leading choice? 52% said MP3, 32% said WAV. So, again, I'm very encouraged by this. I think this is showing that, DJs are generally becoming more aware of higher formats that are available and making that choice to kind of include that. There's always going to be boundaries and reasons, whether it's cost or storage. You look at the kind of sort of wedding mobile DJ market, these guys have to cater for a huge, broad audience. So it doesn't make sense for them to fill a whole hard drive up full of WAVs, because you're going to carry, a WAV is generally around 3.5 times the size of a equivalent MP3. So, you can get 3.5 times many tunes on there.
Also, a drunk auntie at a wedding isn't going to say, "Hey, are you playing WAVs or MP3s?"
Yeah.
So
do you know what? In my experience, I've literally never, in my entire DJ career, I've never had anybody come up to me and say, "Why are you not playing WAVs?" Because I play purely MP3s.
Yeah.
If I get a WAV on a promo or something like that, I'll convert it to an MP3, or as Jay likes to say, I'll convert it to a Word document first and then convert
Post
it to
it
an
to yourself.
but this brings up a point, and I obviously we don't have to spend too long on it, but you know what, when you talk about space, it's quite a big difference in space between
100%, yeah.
an MP3 and a WAV. But when you talk about sound quality, unless you're kind of that, we talked about audiophiles. I could be wrong here, but I mean, is there a humongous difference, or is it?
Do you know what? I don't feel like I want to get drawn into that level of detail, and I'll tell you, explain the reason why.
Be
I
here
think,
all day.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, it's your own choice, and everyone's going to have their own perception. If you talk to a music producer, they are going to exclusively play uncompressed file formats like WAV, AF, whatever. You talk to a mobile wedding DJ, he's going to play MP3s because of hard drive space. Everyone's got their own choice. My personal experience is I've played a mixture of WAV, AIF, and MP3 throughout my whole DJ career, and not a single person has ever come up to me and said, "Listen, mate, me and my missus are leaving. I just heard you play an MP3. We're out." No one said that.
Lost fans over.
And I think if you walked into a club like Fabric or something that's got a good sound system,
then maybe,
in the cold light of day, stone cold sober, and a DJ played one song in WAV and one in MP3, and physically indicated which was what, and you were both intent on just listening specifically, you might be able to notice a difference between the lower frequencies and the top end, but you feel that club with like 400, 500 people.
No.
And I know this is going to be a huge bone of contention, but like I say, I want to stress, it's down to your own opinion.
Yeah.
What I think is the important thing is everyone gets kind of bogged down with, I'll play WAVs, I'll play this, I'll play whatever. The important thing is the source. Yeah. This is what people miss, where you get it from. We had,
Let me just say as well, when we're talking about MP3s, we're talking about high quality 320 MP3s, not 80 bloody gigawatts for rips off of YouTube. We're talking about high quality MP3s.
Yeah. There is of course there is a difference between MP3 and WAV. There's no way of denying that. No. But is that difference enough for your own personal reasons to validate choosing one over the other or both? And I think that's something you've got to...
It's a horses for courses scenario, I guess.
It really is. I mean, there's been very few sound systems that I've played on during my career where you could actually, when the club is full of people, as Jay was just saying, that you could even tell the difference.
Okay, yeah.
So, moving on to the kind of source, obviously the no-nos are places like, the torrents and YouTube rips.
Do people still download from torrents? Is that still a thing?
I'd say.
Is that a thing that's out there? Yeah, but again, you might, there was a big thing with, some guy was chucking out the top 100 Beatport or whatever, ethical reasons aside of the artist and the label not getting the money, you as a DJ need to take responsibility and pride in what you play and what you do. You could play the most best set ever, but if it's all 128 rips off YouTube, it's compressed to anything. Yeah. You can't, and people won't, generally won't have enough savvy to go, oh yeah, that's compressed. Some people I think will do, but they'll just walk away and go, oh, he was kind of playing all right tunes, but wasn't really kind of feeling. And again, your reputation is the key thing that's at stake here.
Yeah.
Worst offenders are friends. Don't trust your friends.
No.
Some guy comes up and goes, oh, yeah, you're into garage. Oh, I've got 500 WAV files here. Oh, that sounds great. Dump them all onto your laptop, as well as having a library nightmare of sorting them all out. Yeah. You've now got 500 potentially 128, 256 files that have been ripped off YouTube. Yeah. The guy that's downloaded them gone, oh, someone told me WAV's better. I'm going to open all these up and save them as a WAV file. So on paper, they look great. But the reality is,
if it says anywhere in the file name brackets official video, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
I thought that was what we're looking for here.
Do you know what?
Official video. Brilliant.
I'm going to go a little bit nerdy here. I use a program called Spec, S-P-E-K, and the website is spek.cc. They're in alpha and beta, so it's a little bit of an unreliable bit of software. It's a tiny little thing, and all you do is you just drag your digital music file into this thing, and it will give you the spectral results of what frequency range is responding. And you can tell instantly if anything that's basically below 20 kilohertz is at some point been compressed.
So that's your filtration system, that website.
But also use your ears as well. I've been given stuff that's a 320 MP3 that is sounds fantastic, but you analyze it and it's like peaking at like 16, 17 kilohertz, and I've got a WAV of someone of the same tune and tracked in there that's been recorded off vinyl that doesn't sound that great.
Yeah,
it's the trade-off. Ultimately, as we always teach here, your ears are the boss. Your ears should always take precedent. You've got visual tools everywhere to help you, but listen and trust your ears.
Yep.
Okay, I like that. Your ears are the boss.
Yep.
We did a meme of that.
We did actually, didn't we? Yeah.
We did.
To have Alan Sugar as an ear going, you're fired.
Yeah, we could do a little Trump one going on.
Oh, no. Trump's coming nowhere near
We've had enough Trumps on this podcast.
No more Trumps.
Speaking of sort of hot topics and divisive subjects, we're moving on to another one potentially as likable or not as Trump. Let's talk about the sync.
Sync or not to sync. I feel like we need a little jingle in for that
sync or not to sync.
This one is one of the weirdest.
Let us know what you think. Sync
there you go.
Or not to sync. Let us know what you think. All right.
But this is a weird one, isn't it? Because you just look on just go onto Facebook. If you're linked with friends or DJs or friends of DJs, you're going to see this at least weekly. Yeah. People talking about sync, and you're robbing people if you're using sync, and I've heard so many people get literally irate about it, and I'm going to be honest, I don't use it, but that's because I don't really mess around with CD turntables or whatnot, so I'm going to leave you guys explain what the hell sync actually is for people listening and wondering.
I mean, I think that's the key thing is about knowledge first.
Yeah.
I think sync has got a very bad reputation out there, but I don't believe that most people that are bad mouthing it actually truly understand what it does. So let's set a few facts straight.
Yeah.
All sync does is, if you've got one song playing on one track at 130 BPM, if the two decks are synced together and you load up another song that's 124, it will just automatically go to 130. That is exactly the same as not having sync on and you loading that song and just moving that pitch fader until it reads 130. You don't need any beat matching skills.
No.
You just look at all the information. So all that button is basically doing is saving you that time.
If you're using any kind of digital DJing platform and your files are being processed through something like Recordbox or Serato, or even if it's not, even if it's just a raw file on a USB stick, all you're doing is moving the BPM down or up.
I think.
Sorry.
I was trying to just close the door. I could hear someone drilling something downstairs.
Yeah, you're just moving the BPM fader up or down and matching the BPMs. It's literally the same process, but it's just done slightly quicker when you use the sync button.
Okay, I understand.
Fact number 2.
Yeah.
The sync function, it takes its information from the beat grid of which the software, when you bring a song into Recordbox, Traktor, Serato, whatever, it analyzes the peaks of that song and it will produce what's called a beat grid and lays it over the music. If you think of the beat grid as basically like a roadmap for the song. Now, without that kind of beat grid, when it adds that beat grid, it's still a computer analyze that song. It doesn't always get it right.
No.
I've seen people saying, "Oh yeah, I've used sync," but it never works because you have to have those beat grids matched up. If the beat grids aren't correct and they're sitting perfectly on every one beat, the sync basically is totally useless.
Yeah.
Okay. So
if the grid's not sitting over the transients and looking at exactly what the BPM of the track is and being accurate about it, sync's not going to work anyway. Because what sync isn't doing is it's not looking at the actual track itself and going, right, I'm going to mix that track with that track.
Yeah.
No piece of computer software is particularly. I mean, you can kind of do that a little bit with Serato with Simple Sync, but what any program's doing when it's syncing is it's syncing the beat grids together.
Yeah. And the thing with that is sync fact number 3, by the way, because all it's doing is basically beat matching the 2 beat grids together. It is not picking the song. No. It is not telling you when to mix it, when to mix out, what effects to use, how to build a set, how to read the crowd. All the key things for me that are about being a good DJ. Sync won't do that, and the reason why we've gone in on this is that I feel like it's got a bad name. Ultimately, my opinion is you sync, don't you sync. I think the bottom line for me is sync is a phenomenal tool for DJs that know how to beat match.
Yeah, sync is not performing a DJ set for you. All it's doing is it's making one small area of that DJ set slightly easier to achieve, and not even easier, slightly quicker to achieve.
It's just speeding the process up, So look, I think as far as I use sync sometimes and sometimes I don't.
Can I just jump in?
Please,
Why I was going to say why, knowing the pros and cons now or the what it does, why do you then use it as a fully professional 20 plus years in the game of DJing? Why would you use it?
And a good looking DJ as well. Let's just put that out there.
He's swiping his hair back.
Damn it, I forgot we're not on camera.
No, I just want to know.
So look, a little bit of history. So I started mixing vinyl, buying vinyl at 89. Probably couldn't actually DJ till about 92, 93. But I've DJed vinyl professionally for a good 10 years, CDJs, mixers, USB controllers. Like I know how to beat match. I don't have an issue with that.
He does.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Seen him do it. He does.
So for me, the reason why I use sync is creatively, I've got a lot more options open to me. So for example, if I'm doing kind of drum and bass jungle sets, I generally always have 2 tunes running at any one time. I like to layer a lot of stuff up. For me, and when I'm doing older sets, like more kind of old school, whatever, I remix stuff on the fly. I'm using these as kind of musical tools to change the way that song was made so that it sounds different or fresher or just whatever. With the sync function enabled, that means that I can focus purely on the creative aspect of building up these mixes, dropping them down. All I'm doing is looking through and finding a song, going, right, that's going to go well, bang, load, and that's it. I can instantly hit one of my hot cue loops, and I've got it in. Within 2-3 seconds of selecting that song, it's in the mix and doing something.
So you could potentially be mixing in a different jungle break or a different drum pattern, or is it you tend to kind
acapellas, vocals, loops, samples, snippets? I mean, you name it. This is what I love about music and technology now, is that there are no rules.
No, because you know what else is in that family of beat gridding? It's stuff like looping and stuff like effects and stuff like that. So if you've got your beat grids on and you've gone in and you've gone into your library, or you've downloaded a load of new tunes and you've set the beat grids and all that kind of stuff, to get super creative and be able to do that live remixing, like what Jay's talking about, you have to get your beat grids right, because then you're ultimately jumping between loops, beat jumping, doing all this different kind of cool creative stuff, and it's no different from using the sync function anyway, because you're using the like I say, it's all part of the same family underneath that beat gridding family of effects that you can get by using this cool stuff that's on all the digital DJ stuff nowadays.
I mean, look, I still love and enjoy doing vinyl sets. Once a month on the radio show, I'll bring a couple of bags of vinyl in, and I still love that that challenge of finding the beat, getting that beat match, bringing it in, and with vinyl you've almost always got to be sitting on top of the mix to make sure it's staying in. You've got the wow and flutter, you've got all these various components that are working against you. I love that challenge.
Yeah, that challenge.
But I love that other end of the spectrum where I can just throw all of that out the window and just completely make stuff up as I go along, and just have that creative freedom to go, do you know what, that beginning part would work really nice here, I'm going to slip on, bang, hit that little loop in, let it go, and I've picked up exactly where I wanted to go. That little drum break from this, I've actually got a playlist now that I play for my old school sets, is just tracks that have got loops, that are creative loops, where they're little riffs or vocals or whatever they are, that I can just try to chuck in there. For me, it's a creative tool for DJs.
So the sync button allows you to do that quicker and more efficiently, obviously.
Yeah, it does. For me personally, I don't use sync at all. Like I've never really, I've experimented with it a couple of times, but I
don't even know what it is, bro. Where's the button?
But I've got nothing against it. Yeah, I've got nothing against it at all. But I go up and down in tempo in my sets quite a lot. Now people would say that's a perfect reason to use sync, but I transition by using scratches and drops and stuff like that. So I've just never. I might want to go from 160 BPM down to I don't know 110 BPM, and I'll use scratching to do that. But the reason I don't use sync is because I'll literally just beat match them using the tempo faders.
Yeah,
that's it. That's how I'll do it, because it's just the same. It's exactly the same process.
I think there's a variety of opinions, which I can generally take when people are educated about it, and I think that's the bit that bugs me, is that you've got a handful of old school heads out there that will just go, oh, you're not a DJ, bro, if you're not on vinyl, and I just think that's a big layer of ignorance out there. If you look at anyone in any kind of profession, no one is using the same tools that they were 20 years ago. Like you look at now, a classic example, I think one of the students came up with this, was that Google Maps, when people start slagging off you using sync or not to sync or whatever, it's like, oh, you still got an A to Z book in your car. You're still using that, are you? No, you don't. I mean, there's loads of great analogies, and of course I've forgotten most of them. But
I got the tube timetable in the back pocket that I just flip out every day.
Yeah.
It's silly. It's a silly mistake.
It's evolution. Formula One drivers, chefs, you name it. Everyone's using new tools. I think the key thing is using those tools in the right way. I do think someone that's learning to DJ, if you're only going to learn using the sync function, then you are missing out on a massive part of foundation of DJing. And yes, you could probably have a lot of good fun time and blah 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 blah, but you're going to come across a time when the beat grid is off, or maybe you're doing a live performance and a mix isn't going how you thought it would. You need that foundation knowledge to be able to make those corrections quickly, efficiently, and confidently to be able to get yourself out of that. And that is where the art of beat matching two records together with just your ears is key.
Yep. I mean, the only people that really care about sync, to be honest, is the Universal Committee for DJing, who are on Facebook all the time.
I was just about to say, hopefully
who are obviously democratically voted in by all of us, and have an opinion on it all the time. But I mean, if you don't kind of care about what they've got to say, and they're all kind of in their 40s and 50s, and will determine whether you're a real DJ or you're not a real DJ, obviously. So I mean, we've got to respect them. We don't. But yeah, I mean,
hopefully people can stop crying about it.
Yeah, for instance, like the first time because like Jay said, I mean, I've been DJing I started my career DJing on vinyl, and it got to the point where I transitioned to CDs and played on CDJs because I didn't want to hurt my back and my just carrying around vinyl all the time because it's so heavy. So I think the first tour that I ever did, the first gig of the tour that I ever did, like playing CDs, was in San Francisco, probably 2002 or 2003 or something like that. I got there, set up. There was a couple of right eyes pointing at me because I didn't bring any vinyl with me. That I bought a little pack of CDs with me.
How dare you?
And set up, started playing. Instantly, the first tune that I played, I ejected after I'd played it. And there's a little voice that came from the back of the club saying, that would have never happened on vinyl.
Can I ask you a question? So, like me, did you used to carry around a record bag with CDs in it?
I did, for a little while. That transition.
There was a horrible period of I couldn't walk it up to a club with a rucksack because they'd be like, I'm the DJ. Really,
what
mate?
About
Where's
now
your
with
record?
USB pens? Like that's surely something. That
Don't even take a bag now.
I've got my little makeup bag out there that I take around with me.
I'm quite jealous of that.
Yeah, it's banging. If you're interested in having a great digital DJ bag, it's the UDG. I'm not sure the model number or the name of it or anything, but holds 4 USBs, a few cables. Put my phone in there. Got my earplugs in there. Yeah, got my lipstick
Blushes.
in there, my blusher, and it's great.
Vinyl revirginizer.
Yeah, vinyl revirginizer.
Come on, I said it right first time.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you get a pat on the back for that. Pat.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, no worries.
That's an interesting topic that we're covering.
I think, do you know what? I'd love to hear comments of what people have got to say. Head over to our Facebook page, On The Rise DJ Academy. We'll have the post up there pinned with the podcast. Just stick your comments in there. You know, I'm sure there's going to be a load of opinions in there. It'd be great to kind of read through them all and see what you think. We'd also like to know actually about what file format you use. You know, so stick that up there as well.
Any members of the Universal Council of DJing,
get involved,
democratically
guys.
elected
Don't
Universal
cry,
DJ, just let me know if I'm a real DJ or not. That would be great, because I have been wondering.
But no, a bit of feedback from anyone online listening. It would be good to get your thoughts on the
for sure.
subjects.
And I think also as well, if you've got any comments about what you'd like to hear in the show, just drop us a message. Again, probably easier just via the Facebook page, or you can drop us one, learn@ontherisemusic.com, and just let us know what you'd like to hear, what you think. Just any feedback's good. We love hearing it.
And make sure you comment on the podcast on iTunes as well. That's a big one.
Yeah, give us a bit of love. Give us a little rating,
Subscribe.
little review.
Subscribe, comment.
5 stars always helps.
Yep.
Yeah. Unless it's 4 stars, but then don't leave one. Definitely don't leave anything below 3.
Anything below 3, you just keep to yourself. So, just to move on, I'm quite excited about the first interview of our podcast.
Stanton.
As a former breaker.
You break dance, do you?
Yeah. As a former breakbeat junkie, new school that is.
Yeah.
I'm really hyped about this one. So, do you want to?
This is our DJ Tech Evolution series, and the idea behind this is to have a chat with a DJ that's been around for a few years and seen, part of the evolution going from vinyl to CDs to USBs and digital controllers and laptops, and just kind of get their thoughts on, what it is that they started out on. Mostly it's always going to be vinyl, but just, what kind of challenges they face, what did they move on to next and why, and then what ultimately, what are they on now? Not drugs-wise, but what are they on as in using it for kit-wise. And also, some top tips for up-and-coming DJs, trying to help them out, where can they kind of get some information about, pushing their career forwards or getting it started, more importantly.
DJs on drugs, talking about that, I'm currently on Lemsip. It's great. Blackcurrant flavour Lemsip.
Winner.
Yeah.
Cool. So this is us when we had a chat with Dom from the Stanton Warriors. Big shout out to Dom, out to Mark, and have a little listen to what he had to say about our DJ Tech Evolution.
What got you into DJing?
What got me into DJing was in primary school. I started hearing the first electric records. Got on free pair of Clark shoes randomly. No one wants to wear shoes, right, like in school days, and to make you buy them, they give you a free record token. So I went there and you get a free record token. It takes you to Littlewoods and you couldn't choose a record, they just give you one. And they gave me a Herbie Hancock Rocket. And that started me to quest this new style of music no one had heard before. And age of like 13, I thought, right, I want to start DJing this. So from that point onwards, I sort of sought out how to get that equipment, which is quite expensive at the time.
What kit did you learn to DJ on?
Back then, because we were like literally kids, I managed to get a Technics belt drive. It had a pitch control, but it was belt drive, and someone else had another deck, and we had a Tandy mixer. I think it was it's called a Realistic. We had a Tandy at the time. It was like a super cheap mixer, and then we put the crossover back to front. Just a stereo system, so it's very, very DIY. There's like 4 of us involved, and sort of combed together this sort of higgledy-piggledy system.
What was the next step for you tech-wise, and why did you change? How did you find the transition?
I finally saved up for a Technics 1210, which was like everything for me to have that. And then my friend had one, and my other friend had a mixer, so we had like a sound system. So we had that for years, and I think the Technics deck is the undisputable best deck out there, still to this day. And eventually, when I started producing music as Stanton Warriors, a lot of the tracks, we had to print dub plates all the time, which meant going up to these dub plate making places in London, queuing up all the ragga guys and jungleists and stuff, and getting dub plates done every week, which was fun but expensive. And then these sort of pioneer CDJs started coming out, and obviously you can make a tune, burn it, and play it that same night. It became a bit more convenient. So then suddenly the sets were like, I don't know, 20% CDs, 20% dub plates, and then vinyl. But as we're making more and more tunes and getting tunes with friends, which weren't necessarily available on vinyl, and couldn't always get dub plates cut, we eventually just transitioned to just CDs only.
What is your current setup, and why did you choose it?
Now I've got 3 CDJs, all Pioneers, one Pioneer mixer, And we use that because we can do it from memory stick, and we can have like, you know, thousands of tracks in there. The whole thing syncs up and it works really well together. And you can literally have your whole set in a box. And you haven't got to run through airports, knocking people's shins out with your record boxes, or worrying about CDs being scratched, or CDs getting stuck in the CDJs, and everything that possibly happened to us. On the road, as you know yourself, you kind of like things bump and thing. Only thing you have to worry about with a memory stick is losing it. That's why you have like 3 backups in your pocket. So when you get drunk, you leave it in there, it's fine. So it makes things a lot more convenient.
Where do you see DJ technology going forward?
It's an interesting question where DJ technology is going from here. I mean, you can computerize it to a point where you don't actually need a DJ. I mean, you can actually have, imagine a virtual, you can have a robot DJ now. You can probably like have them scan the algorithm to the crowd and see what tunes are reacting and probably do what a DJ does. But then at what point does it become that you're not DJing? I've seen not DJs work where they're literally not doing much mixing, they're kind of doing pre-recorded sets, and they're not the sort of equipment doing it for them, the mixing. And for me personally, I find it quite boring. I don't think it's just an old school thing. I think if you want to go and see a DJ perform, the key is like watch him perform. If you want to go and hear someone, a model guy or someone semi-famous dancing around the decks, and that's a personal appearance, and he's playing some music from flashing lights, that's fine. But for me, I want to see someone who's got their own sort of musical character, do their thing, and actually sort of pull off some good mixes. There's nothing sort of exciting on the dance floor than watching DJ doing something. Wow, he dropped that in, he done that, he dropped a curveball, that acapella dropped him there, and the way he just dropped in that, didn't expect that one to come there, and he'd end with that. That's amazing how that fit with this. Wow, great. That's for me a fun night. So I think the level of, obviously technology can get better and better, and the way you can probably mix with your iPhone, we can. But then it starts to come the opposite direction, so the actual DJs are less. So I think possibly at the pinnacle of what a DJ can do, and any further, like him doing mind reading, mixing, whatever, it's just going to be a bit stupid like a circus. So I'd say we could probably sort of stop at what we're at now, and anything more would just be, you know, robots running things.
What's the best setup to learn DJing on and why?
Best setup to learn DJing on, really, having learned on belt drives, one of the wonders of doing that was it taught you to be so sensitive with your fingers that when we actually sort of managed to afford Technics decks, we've mixed like really tight. You know, it was a bit of a badge of honour to mix super tight. We moved 3 decks. You learn to be so kind of like, you know, like sensitive on your fingers and the pitch and stuff that you can actually ride pitch controls and mix disco tunes which weren't synchronised properly because they're on about live, but keep them in the mix. So having that kind of education, if you like, allowed super sort of tight mixing. So, you know, in an ideal world, if you learned like that, you'd be the best on anything because you could literally like lock any beats in. But these CDJs now are so tight anyway on the BPMs, maybe you don't need to do that anymore. So the question is, what is DJing? You know, if you wanted to sort of do that, and you'd have to learn that way. It's just the hard way, but the best way. But I definitely think, well, I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of the whole vinyl versus CD things. It's more fun to learn on vinyl, I think, because it actually locks your head into the groove and you're actually riding the groove. Whereas on a CDJ, you can probably mix in about 2 seconds just without even headphones looking at pitch control. So a quick way, CDJs, the more fun, thorough, getting it into the groove kind of way would be like using decks. If you're sitting at home, I'd much rather I'd enjoy it more to be mixed on decks because I'd be feeling it more, which is what it's all about.
Do you have any tips for new DJs?
My tips for aspiring new DJs is, there's a lot of DJs out there, anyone can be a DJ these days, everyone is a DJ, and to stand out, if you have success, one important thing is have your own character, just to literally sort of be ahead of the pack, or be different from the pack, step aside from the pack, so to speak. Sometimes you'll be somewhere in some obscure country and you suddenly notice the guy playing before you has got tunes you've never heard before, and you chat to him, and you could be in Turkey and he's made all these beat tunes with Turkey belly dancing beats behind it, and you're like, wow, what's that? Oh, I made these myself. You're like, wicked, cool, man. And then you think, this guy's really different, he's got his own angle going on. And maybe then you get his number, maybe then you can invite him over to DJ at your night in London or something, because he stands out, because he's got like a unique selling point. I think that is what, in the day, this is art, it's about creativity, and anyone who sort of tries something different is being more arty, more creative. Anyone could just like be a cookie cutter DJ and download a Beatport Top 20 and stand there and wave their hands and do all this and whatever, and that's boring. So don't be boring, you want to stand out and you want to ultimately have success, build your own character, do what you want to do, make it original, and eventually people around will like gravitate towards you, and fresh is best.
Okay, so thanks to Dom from Stanton Warriors for his insight there. Hope you enjoyed that. And with that, we're just about to get out of here. But coming up in episode 3, we have...
Yeah, we've got Martin Dockery, who's the big man at Pioneer DJ for the UK. So he's going to come in and chat to us about just Pioneer stuff in general. So I can't wait to have a chat with him and lock him down and pick his brains. We've got plenty of people that we are going to be speaking to throughout the year from Serato and various other places as well. So, yeah, lots of exciting interviews kind of coming up throughout the year. But, yeah, big one next with Pioneer and Martin Dockery.
Also keep an eye out on the rise for the Denon.
Oh yes, yeah. Make sure if you're in the area, you get down on Tuesday the 23rd of January to our studio for the Denon Prime demo. It's going to be a very, very intimate little affair, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we might have a pair of the VL12s on deck, literally on deck. Please make it happen, God of DJing. Which we talked about on the last podcast, actually, a very, very exciting piece of kit.
Cool, and good. Just got to say a final shout out to all the guys at DJKit.com. Big up yourselves. You know, they've been very good to us. Great place, and all of our students do get a 10% discount from there. So if you book with us, you get a little discount. But we're also offering out a discount for all the podcast listeners. So if you drop us an email, learn@ontherisemusic.com. If you quote OTRPOD, we'll sort you out a little discount for any DJ lessons.
Nice. Yeah, for sure. Oh, and make sure if you're in the Spanish area in Andalusia, where is it we're playing? What's the town?
Jerez?
Jerez, I think.
Southern Spain.
Yeah, we're playing at Carnival. Myself and Jay doing a big 17-deck back-to-back session.
And Lady Wax as well.
And Lady Wax is playing.
Old Waxy.
Waxy Poo.
Old Waxy.
Old Waxy.
She doesn't approve of that name, sure.
Oh, yeah, we call her Waxy Poo. That's her name,
yeah.
She's our little sister.
It's not quite as offensive in Russian as it is
It means Russian queen. And
don't forget, though, rate, review, subscribe, share, like, comment, get involved. Thanks for listening. Keep your eyes out for the next one. And from myself, Bazza Ranks.
Myself, Terry, the songwriter hooligan.
And myself, Hungry Jay.
See you soon.
I'm starving
Thanks
as
for
well. Sink, what do you think? Let us know in the comments. Yeah.